Howdy neighbors, it's Sako Tumi, also known as Cass Voit, and I'm writing a book with BC Brown! Woo! Okay, enough.
That's enough of that.
Felicia is in the chat. Hello, Felicia.
Good to see you. Just to let you know, Sako, I am dual streaming on my stream.
Okay, no worries.
Just FYI.
Okay, cool. So if it should,
as far as I know, it's just gonna. I've never actually done that from anybody else's stream before.
Okay.
So
yeah, there will be a link. Clicked like on both the streams. Thank you so much, Felicia. Yeah.
There's my camera.
We keep meaning to meet up so that she can bounce ideas off of me for a thriller.
Yeah.
But the moons have not yet aligned. Hi, cool gamer.
It happens like that. You know, writers we can't always get our moons aligned and star charts right.
Exactly. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna close some of these extra windows.
Yeah, I have like a bajillion tabs open. I had to close them all before the stream.
Open up our file. If I can find it. There we go. Oh, not old drafts, but new drafts. I'm not sure which one to open.
Well, we've got the beat sheet, your beat sheet. We've got All Hell Breaks Loose, and then the little brainstorm thing that we had done after the little brainstorm thing I had done was book 2, unknown / brainstorm. Okay.
One of these days we will come up with a name for it.
It was easy with Flambeau because we knew we were going to do a story about that kind of magic, that kind of like supernatural thing. So this one's just going to be a little more creative. We're gonna have to be we're gonna have to be very creative, is what I'm trying to say. Hey, Debbie.
Yes. I guess I should open up a timer.
We'll get there. Yeah, SD, I'm not streaming per se. I'm just piggybacking off of Sako's stream tonight.
Yeah.
I figure that way we get out to both audiences and all is good.
Indeed. Present. And then there. Okay. We're
good.
All right.
We are working on the same thing as we were on my channel last week and Sako's channel 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
We are doing book 2, the sequel to Flambeau, which is out under Sako's name, under Cass Voit
Yes.
specifically. We wrote that a couple of years together, co-stream on air the whole thing, and did it from like conception all the way through, book party kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so now we're writing a sequel.
Yay, sequel. And I've never written a sequel before, so this is an experiment for me.
And I have barely written any standalone anything. I am like a sequel queen.
Excellent.
I get ideas for other books while I'm writing. Like the first book, I usually don't intend for them to be sequels or trilogies or so on and so forth. But
yes.
Yep, we did it all on YouTube.
Yep.
I don't think we really did anything. We even just decided we were going to write a book together while we were streaming.
Yeah.
Like, we're just like, yeah, you want to write a book together? And, we were both like, yeah, I want to write a book together.
Yeah. This will work out. And we got real lucky, I think, is that our styles are so similar, and I did the horror end and she did the mystery end, and like,
and we met in the middle for everything else.
Yeah, like it went real great.
Like, she's absolutely phenomenal at details in a scene, like your surroundings and your things like that. I'm not so much. I have white room syndrome. My speciality is dialogue and like action tags with dialogue. That's my speciality.
Yeah. The stars did align.
The stars have to. I feel like the stars have to align for writers for everything. For like the cosmic tumblers all have to click into place for anything productive and decent to come out of our fingers. That's how I feel.
Hi, Jennifer. Dealing with a migraine, so if you type anything crazy, it's not on purpose. I'm not thinking straight right now. I need to come and show my girl some love. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the support. All right. So, I am sharing the screen for the timer. And did you want to share the screen for All Hell Breaks Loose?
I can. Do we want to show the screen first and then do the timer during the sprints?
I move that we work on we continue working on the document during the sprints.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if we wanted to. I don't know. Can we present at the same time? Can you present something?
I don't think we can. I think one or the other has to be up.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and share the screen. All right. So this is All Hell Breaks Loose, which is basically it's a slug right now. It's like our blur, little one-liner drop right now. My brain's not functioning very well. So Sako and I are doing all of this in Google Drive. Wow. So that we can write back and forth with each other. We're working off of her beat sheet, which is an amazing beat sheet, and I added a bunch of it to my beat sheet that I had because it was better. So basically you can kind of see where we tend to write in 2 different colors. We give each other notes. Let me see if I can find a note. I think they're over here. I can't see the notes. Never mind. We leave each other comments and notes about what we want to do and where we're kind of going. So Sako has this really amazing beat sheet that is just super cool. So we've been, mostly working off of it entirely. What we came up with in the last couple of sessions, we knew we were going to have to pull out all of the kind of all the like major hit points or all the headlines of book one, so that we could see if we could roll any of it into book two, because that is very important for a sequel. Is even though you kind of wrap up everything, or you try to as much as possible in your first book, there's usually something that gets left behind a little bit. Like it doesn't get a full resolution, or you can expand on it a whole lot more. So that's kind of what we're doing, is we're expanding on a couple of the points that were brought up, a couple of side characters that were not necessarily minor in the last story, but they weren't quite as prevalent. So yeah, that's where we're going from there.
Sweet. Debbie has that damn commission done. Yay! So I'm going to be writing my comic script, chapter 10. Yay! Grats. Felicia is better at dialogue as well. RC has popped into the chat. Hello, RC.
So dialogue, I got better at dialogue after I challenged myself to kind of sit on public transit while I was living, just to sit on the train or sit on the bus or whatever, and eavesdrop on people's conversations and see where they put their inflections. And I just kind of made notes in my notebook, kept my headphones on and made notes in my notebook, and people left me alone and I was just eavesdropping on them. I didn't like write down anything important or anything personal or anything, but I wanted to see where people put their accents. I wanted to see where they paused to breathe. I kind of wanted to see how in that moment I would describe their energy or their movements or whatever I could get down as fast as possible. So I'd either write it down or, pop it in my laptop or something, whatever I could do.
Right on.
I don't know of a good way to, I guess I could just sit in a room and write and describe it. And just do that over and over and over and over again. But
I have a curious thing I want to try. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh, we can just swap back and forth easily.
We can swap back and forth.
Yay.
Okay, so that said, do we want to go into a sprint? Because we're 13 minutes into the stream.
I'm good with it. I'm totally cool with it. If you are.
Okay, let's do it. Let me see if I can find my timer. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Let's sprint. Okay, take a break.
All right. Everybody stretch. Save your document. Save your whatever you're doing.
Okay, so I'm putting ideas into Keep that we come up with. I wonder if there's a way that I can link the link a thing into Keep so that both of us can access it.
Yeah, you can share a keep note with me. My wife and I do it all the time for free lists, bill paying, etc.
Okay.
I think you just have to. I think you just have to share it to my. That's a good question, actually. I've never shared one with her. She always shares them with me. I'm pretty sure you just send it to my email.
Oh, okay.
I think you just link it to my email, like share it from Keep to my email. I've never actually done it myself, though.
Oh, good night, Felicia.
Yeah, you can. So go into whatever the Keep note is that you have, and good night, Felicia.
Characters would all be stupid.
Believe me, there were some stupid characters. Very stupid. There were very stupid dialogue, but that's come in handy a few times, like bar scenes. Just anybody that would be in an area that has slightly dumber than average people for some reason.
Yeah.
But in the Keep notes, you'd go into the note you want to share with me, and then down at the bottom, there's like the 3 dots or whatever. You go into the 3 dots, and it has collaborator, which is just a great name. It's just a great word. I prefer to be called collaborator. And it'll send it to my email.
I can add it to the document.
Oh, okay.
Where do I want to link this?
So while you do that, I'm going to explain what's on the screen right now. So, we were both working in the beat sheet. We kind of just grabbed a section. Like, we didn't discuss, hey, do you want to work on this person or this character or whatever. I just decided to work on our main character for the story. Yeah. Which is going to be Kyler. And the only reason I chose to do that was because we were missing some stuff in a couple of their bullet points. That's it.
Yep.
So I just decided to go ahead and put that in here. And what I worked on this evening specifically was defining their natural world, kind of like their view of the world and how they see themselves in it, as well as everybody else, kind of a thing.
Right.
And then we already had how Kyler sees the big lie and that and how they perpetuate the big lie of the world. So then I just went into the description. For the description, I realized, because I went into the files for Kyler in from Flambeau, we didn't ever describe Kyler in a set aside. So apparently we just described Kyler in paragraph in book and ran with it. So I'm really hoping there weren't any continuity issues there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But this is what I figure. Kyler is so flamboyant. Their appearance could be different from day to day. I'm not 100% convinced yet that Kyler doesn't wear wigs.
Yeah.
Because they totally would.
Because they would.
Yeah. But so I went ahead and threw into this. We know we made Kyler tall and very slender, almost to the point of could be sickly, but they do have some defined muscles. I just went ahead and currently they have platinum blonde hair, so that's an issue. I'll have to look it up. I put in the style. If you want to change any of it, Sako, let me know. But I'm basing it off of a friend right now, mid 30s, and kind of went from there.
Okay.
And then we went into the foil and describing them a little bit and why. We kind of just did a little bit of this so that we knew how old they were. To discuss this during the sprint, we basically had a back and forth written conversation during the document. Once we came to whatever we came to our decision about something was, then we took out we removed the conversation and just went with whatever the decision was.
Yeah. And so we should also make a character for the Methuselah. I agree.
Yeah, I know we'll have to get to it. We'll have to determine, age. We'll have to determine all of that, like their name. But since we did kind of decide they're going to be in like a torpor state and they're not going to be as active until we start doing things with Kyler's channeling abilities, I think we could probably wait a little bit before we jump into it, but we can do it whenever since we're bouncing around.
Okie dokie.
Let's see, what else do we have? When I there we go. Okay.
Did we ever describe Darian in the first book? I don't know that we ever called him by name either.
I don't think we called him by name at any point, but I know we described him as being kind of I remember him just being kind of nondescript.
Okay.
So I'm thinking we made him just kind of the opposite of Kyler, just not as big.
Right.
And, not as big and bright and bold.
Right.
But I don't know that for certain, and I'd have to go back and reread just to make sure. As a matter of fact, what I will do is I don't know that we put Darian in the side characters folder or not. So let me just
I don't know that we did.
No, because we did with Doricia, even though she only had that one point. Oh, we did with Darian. We at least put something in here.
Okay.
Here we go. A beautiful young man who avoided eye contact. Deep olive complexion. So I guess we didn't make him that nondescript. Flame-colored hair, deep olive complexion, beautiful young man. Let's see. Supernaturally green eyes.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Nice little thing we put in here. I'd have to double check Final Copy to make sure it did go into Final Copy, but a line is that Daisaku didn't know, was a betting man. He guessed that Kyler's morgue friend had some sort of mythological beast DNA somewhere in his bloodline, judging from the eyes.
Ah.
Yeah, because we mentioned something about mages theorizing inherent magical abilities, maybe the mingling of bloodlines between like the Fae and humans or whatever. I think we left it vague intentionally.
Sure.
But let me grab all of this.
Okay.
And this, folks, is why we keep really detailed everything.
Yeah.
This is why we keep everything. No matter how much we like it or hate it or...
Series Bible. Series Bible.
Mm-hmm. Dang it. Yeah. If you aren't doing some type of... I recommend just doing a book Bible. But a series Bible
Oh.
absolutely necessary for doing sequels.
Oh. Oh, it's not repeating. Hold on.
Oh, it's being weird.
It's okay.
That's okay. We get to see the things that YouTube recommends to Sako based on her search history.
All right.
Oh no, that could be weird.
There we go. Let's sprint. Oh, take a break.
A little bit of a break. Don't forget to save. I reminded everybody to hit the like button. Show us some love.
Indeed.
So we bounced around again, which is cool. Like during this phase, I feel like bouncing around, especially if you're with a co-writer, I think is really important. That way you don't get so tunnel vision for one particular character.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of go back and forth, and like how you described one character may totally influence how you describe another character.
Absolutely.
So, and I mean, yes, to a point, there are people who are very similar and resemble each other in the world, and we only have so many hair colors that are quote unquote natural hair colors and like natural eye colors and stuff to go with. But hey, contacts work, hair dye works. But anyway, so yeah, so what we did here, we looked at the oops, hold on, I gotta go up a little higher. So we looked at the mentor for the story, which is Doricia, and we're pulling that character. She was a side character in the first book in Flambeau, and she was really only in one tiny little scene. And basically that was just to kind of help introduce the main character to a little more conflict of having to choose between the Mage Council and this like band of rebel magic users who don't think there should be like rules and restrictions. So we went through and just decided, we already knew kind of what their role was in the story, what their powers are, what they want out of the situation, but I had to go and pull the description from book 1. So, and that's what I put in here basically was it is just the exact quote of how she was described in book 1. We did the same for Darian, which was a love interest, which is a good thing that we went and looked it up, like I said, because he's not nearly as nondescript as I remember writing him for some reason. Apparently he's quite descript. So, but of course, I mean, what should I expect? Kyler is going to fall in love with someone as beautiful as themselves.
Yeah.
Because to Kyler, they are a unicorn. Yeah. But they're going to find a unicorn. So I took a quote. I took that quote, the quote of it right out of the first book, so that we would kind of have an idea of how they were described and what one of the main characters in the first book's reaction was or thoughts were. I thought they were important.
Yeah.
Then we got into our wonderful big baddie, which, we had to have some little chat back and forth here, of course, about what we should call a self-righteous person who would be a TV evangelist and leader of a vampire slaying cult, like what they would be named.
What about a last name? Zebulon should have a last name.
Yeah, Zebulon should have a last name. I don't know if it should be something plain or if, again, they
Jones
would have changed.
Or like Smith or like...
Jones would be cool because anybody with the slightly historical knowledge would know about Jim Jones and the Kool-Aid. And
that's too much of a nod to him, I think.
Yeah, it's I mean, it could be cool, but it could be a little too much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could do something similar, like Williamson is a common last name.
Yeah, Williams is good.
All right. And to do this, I just went and I literally Googled some biblical boys' names and then put the link in here and just let Sako go to town.
Yeah. Which is funny because Zebulon wasn't on the list.
I figured I got to name the last one, sort of. I mean, I picked 5 names, you narrowed it down, but I also went in and put in more description of this guy. We had a note in here to remind us not to make this bad guy look too much like the bad guy from the first book. So I had to go back and reread the description of the bad guy from the first book just so I could make him a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I also kind of based this description off of this really self-righteous prick that I used to know.
Oh, okay.
And counter protest outside of certain medical clinics and things like that.
Oh.
Yeah. So we used to counter protest before we became official like volunteers of escorting patients, inside without them getting too much harassment.
Yeah.
But we'd play music and stuff like that to cover up the protesters on the sidewalks. And there was a really self-righteous jerk that was there. I just thought he was super clever. So I was like, let's put some stuff in here about him.
Sounds good.
I think that was about all that's about all I got in here, I think, during the sprint.
I started making a thing for the Methuselah.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Was it down a little bit, I think?
Yeah.
Nope, up a little bit. Beep, 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 beep. Why is my thing not working?
It is lagging like a woe.
There we go, Methuselah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like the MacGuffin. For those that don't know what a MacGuffin is basically a character that is solely there to drive the plot or to just like point you in the right direction of the story.
Yeah.
So yeah. What they want out of the situation is they want to be left alone. They want their vampires to be left alone. I'm gonna put that in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't gotten into a description yet.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, you and I kind of have played enough. We've played enough vampire. We've played enough werewolf.
Yeah, exactly.
That we can come up with Methuselah vampires off the top of our head pretty easily. Yeah, and I did put in the book 2 brainstorm. There is a section in there that I had put about possible like who the Methuselah could have been as a human,
okay.
or who they could have been as humans first laid eyes on the alien vampires, kind of a thing. So I put a couple things in here. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So had these, and I'm going to bring them over here for right now, because I think it'll be easier.
Oh, this is the book one per book one.
Really big. Yeah, it's so big. Where? There we go. Not like ginormous. So my theory was, when I was doing my initial brain dump at 2 o'clock in the morning kind of a thing, I know it wasn't quite that late, but probably, was to take 2 kind of well-known-ish mythological characters, not really mythological, historical characters that were considered gods at that point. Because my theory is that primitive man, even primitive man such as in ancient Babylonia and ancient Mesopotamia, would be just primitive enough to mistake these all-powerful beings as gods. And they're kind of, hands-offish with humanity, etc. So that was my initial thought. If we don't like that, then we don't have to do that.
I was gonna pause it, but you know what? Let's just jump into a sprint. Okay. The audience can take a break.
Yes. So I basically just worked on
Vampire.
Gloria at this point, our foil vampire.
Yeah.
I decided to go ahead and put this section in here. So we can go ahead and make sure we get the vampire lore straight
Sure.
right away.
Sure.
Them being ancient beings, alien to the universe, we came up with the other time. I wasn't sure how often they should go into torpor. I thought maybe every century or 2 centuries, because that would be
I
like
think
processing.
it'll vary from vampire to vampire.
That's a good idea.
You know.
But they have to go into torpor at some point. They're gonna have to like rest and stuff.
Yeah. For one thing, they should wait for the people to basically forget about them, and then they can come back and be like, oh, I'm the daughter of blah blah blah.
Okay.
So whenever they need the populace to forget about them.
Yeah. They kind of need to wipe their slate clean. I mean, you can only be looking so fabulous for so long.
Exactly.
Depending on, how we age them, but I'm thinking they stay fabulous for a while.
Yeah.
So for abilities, I went ahead and put down immortality, regeneration, no shadow, no reflection. I'm not sure about that one, but I thought about it. The ability to glamour, that way they can blend in more easily when hunting, be nondescript when hunting. Preternatural speed, reflexes, weaknesses. I thought, we could go back to the sunlight thing again, but kind of if they're only really, really old, can they just not be out in the sun at all?
Right.
But I was thinking younger vamps could indirect sunlight. They could be okay with.
Okay.
I thought it would be interesting if they had more of a tortuous embrace rather than it all being so wonderful, because they're born. These are human beings that are then being infected with alien DNA.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
So it's not necessarily it's not pleasant for them to be turned, but the benefits are good.
Sure.
If you like that idea. If you don't,
no biggie. That works for me. Oh.
Yeah. You know me, I get these weird random bits of dialogue that pop in my head.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, y'all. I just pop them in the document, and literally it said someone in the story at some point, maybe.
Yep.
I didn't do. Oh yeah, I put the elder vampires, the potential Methuselah vampires that I had in mind.
Yeah, and I put in one idea that I had.
I like.
And I tried to come up with plot points.
Okay.
But I feel like we have a lot of lore that we're building right now. So coming up with the ways to raise the stakes is tricky at this stage.
Yeah, a little. I mean, we know plot point wise, we're starting out with an interruptus seance, basically.
Right.
Where Kyler doesn't actually channel the dead person they're supposed to channel, for fun and profit. And instead gets the vision of our potential end. Yeah. It's the vision of the possibility of an end scene if they don't act or do something.
Right.
Next plot point has got to be obviously Durisha bringing Gloria kind of, well,
So Gloria is concerned that she's next on the hunting list, maybe?
maybe, but I was also thinking, if they have some kind of connection to their Methuselah or to their maker, whomever, then maybe they would have like some type of link or something like that. Some type of being able to receive a direct message, but it's one way.
Telepathy.
It comes,
yeah,
it comes from the maker, the Methuselah, whoever's older, and it's purely to just their childhood. So if you got a whole bunch of them, then yeah, great. But so I was kind of thinking like along that lines, or she's just decided to act on behalf of the vampire. She's worried about herself. She's worried about the Methuselahs. There aren't very many of them left. She could be some type of guardian or something like that for those that go into torpor, or especially for the old ones. So those are thoughts. I don't know.
Those are thoughts.
I don't think I'm pretty sure I didn't put anything else in anywhere else.
I'm pretty sure I didn't either. I might have started putting in beats.
Okay.
At least the first couple.
Cool. Oops. That went real fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes my mouse is just weird. Yeah, vampire client, hunted by TV evangelist, clairvoyant hired to help her. Pretty easy. The question. Well, this is fun. Possible love interest kidnapping.
Possible. Or termination. Question mark.
Question mark. Something bad happens to our sweet, sweet Darian cutie.
Yeah. Now the question becomes like, have they begun seeing each other when this happens?
I'll have to go back and check. But I don't think we actually mentioned that they were dating in Flambeau. Right. I think you and I came up with that.
I like the idea of them not necessarily together, but like obviously attracted to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But brainstorm. Eureka light bulb. Darian tells Kyler about these dead bodies coming in. The vamps that are being slain.
Oh, sure.
I mean, unless we're going with the whole decomposition, turning to ash or something upon death, but it would be something maybe that he would note. And there are way more bodies coming in than usual, even though, let's see, we had him based in LA to begin with because that's where we put Flambeau. That's where we set Flambeau primarily.
Right.
Do we, because technically Kyler lives in San Diego. They have that house. Mm-hmm. Do we want to move the scene to San Diego? Or do we want to move it elsewhere?
I like the idea of it being in San Diego.
Okay. All right, so.
If that's where his house is, or their house is.
Yeah. Agreed. So we'll move to San Diego. I don't know crap about San Diego, but fortunately I have a nephew-in-law who grew up there.
Nice.
I will totally tap that resource.
Oh. Okay, one more sprint. One more
Yes.
sprint, and then we'll clock out.
Yeah, like writers ever actually clock out. Our brains just keep going, but okay. Seriously, that was not 20 minutes. I swear.
I know, right? Okay, I'm gonna do away with this timer.
Good idea, because we're wrapping. So.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
Okay.
So yeah,
we found our beat.
Finally found our 5 or 6 beats.
We got 5.
Okay, we need a 6. We need like a.
We need a 6.
We need a denouement.
Yeah, so that's gonna have to be between cult finds and kills and the prince and the celestials. So like a. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's gonna be after. So we do need the denouement. You know, the wonderful word that I can never pronounce correctly. Yeah, that one we're gonna have to think about. All right, so we've got that one in there, but at least we were able to fill in the other ones. Figure out what we're doing there.
So now we have a vision for
a plot.
A very basic plot.
Very, very. It's very, very basic, but we kind of know where we're going, and we were able to, at least, and from the beats, we were able to kind of give ourselves like 3 or 4 sentences to kind of like tell us what we should group with that beat.
Yeah.
So I probably will be a little bit in research mode this week. I'm thinking to brush up on my Archangel Michael, because I don't really know as much about the angels as I do about the princes and the demons.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Which is weird. Which is weird, given my
background.
Theology background.
Yeah.
But I picked an area. I went with it.
All right. Oops.
We got a lot done.
We did. We did get a lot done. Yeah, so if you like this video at any point, I encourage you people in the audience to like the video, maybe, possibly. It tells the algorithm that that you actually like what you see. And you can usually find us on Tuesday nights, either on my channel or on hers. And you might want to subscribe to both of us just in case, and ring the bell, just in case, YouTube actually notifies you when we go live. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.